I grew up in a quiet town. My mother left when I was too young to remember her. My father never spoke of her. When I asked, he would shake his head and say, "She's gone." That was all. So I stopped asking. Our house was small, standing near the edge of town where the roads were empty and the nights were silent. My father worked at a repair shop, fixing engines and replacing tires. He came home late, tired and quiet. We did not talk much. I learned to be alone. At school, I sat at the back of the class. The other kids laughed, whispered secrets, and ran through the halls. I watched from a distance. They tried to talk to me sometimes, but I kept my answers short. I did not trust their kindness. It felt temporary, like a passing rain that would soon dry up and disappear. I did not believe in friendship. I did not believe in love. My father always said, "People leave. Don't wait for them to stay." I carried those words with me. I built walls around myself, strong and high. I thought they would keep me safe. Years passed. I finished school and worked alongside my father in the repair shop. The days felt the same. Oil on my hands, the smell of metal in the air, the sound of engines humming and hissing. At night, I sat by my window, listening to the wind. It was a quiet life. It was an empty life, but I told myself I needed nothing more. Then one day, she walked in. She wasn't remarkable, just a girl with a car problem. She asked if we could fix it. I nodded and got to work. I didn't look at her, didn't care to. "Do you like working here?" she asked. I didn't answer. I didn't like small talk. She didn't seem to mind. She just smiled. "You're very quiet," she said. I didn't respond. She laughed, a soft sound, not loud, not demanding. I finished the job, handed her the keys, and waited for her to leave. She didn't. The next day, she came back. This time, there was nothing wrong with her car. She stood by the door, watching the shop. I ignored her. "Can I watch?" she asked. I frowned. "Watch what?" "You. Work." I shook my head, but she just smiled. "Okay," she said. "I'll wait outside." And she did. For days, she kept coming. Sometimes she asked questions. Sometimes she just sat. My father noticed. "She's different," he said. I didn't reply. One evening, I saw her by the river. She was sitting on a bench looking at the water. I meant to walk past her, but she turned and smiled. "Do you like the river?" No one had ever asked me that before. I nodded. She didn't say anything else. She just sat there, quiet, letting the water move between us. I told myself she was like the others, that one day she would stop coming, but she didn't, and that made me afraid. One afternoon, she brought coffee. She placed it near me and said, "For you." I don't drink coffee, I said. She shrugged. "Then I'll bring tea next time." I frowned. "Why?" She smiled. "Because you work hard." I said nothing. But my father took the coffee, nodded at her, and smiled. She started coming in the evenings too, sitting by the river, walking near the shop, not asking for anything, just being there. One evening I found her sitting on that same bench. The sky was turning gold. I was tired, but I walked over. "Why do you come here every day?" I asked. She smiled. "Because I want to." I frowned. "You don't even know me." She tilted her head. "Maybe I do." I shook my head. "No, you don't." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Maybe you think people always leave, but I'm still here." Her words made my chest feel heavy. I didn't know why. I didn't answer. I just sat beside her. The next day she brought tea. She placed it near me just like before. I stared at it for a long time. Then, for the first time, I picked it up. It was warm in my hands. I took a sip. She smiled, but she didn't say anything. Something was changing. I did not know what. But for the first time, I did not feel alone. Days passed, and she became part of my life. I noticed when she wasn't there. I listened when she spoke. I found myself looking for her before she arrived. It was strange, and I was afraid. One day, she was late. I told myself it didn't matter. I worked harder, ignoring the feeling in my chest, but she still didn't come. Then, in the evening, she appeared. She walked into the shop, slower than usual. "Sorry," she said. "I had something to do." I didn't ask what. I just nodded. She placed a small box on the table. "For you." I frowned. "Why?" She smiled. "Open it later." That night I sat on my bed staring at the box. I hesitated before opening it. Inside was a keychain, a small silver key on a black string. Simple, just like me. I didn't understand why she gave it to me, but I held it in my hand for a long time. Then I put it in my pocket. The next evening, We sat by the river. She was quiet. "What's wrong?" I asked. She sighed. "Just thinking." I waited, but she didn't say more. Then she turned to me. "If I leave one day, will you miss me?" The question hit me like a wave. I wanted to say no. I wanted to say I didn't care. But no words came. She smiled. But this time, it was different. It was sad. "It's okay," she said softly. I already know the answer. That night I couldn't sleep. What if she leaves? And for the first time I was afraid of the answer. She didn't come the next morning, or the next. The shop felt empty. The river felt silent. Then, one evening I found a note on the bench. My hands felt heavy as I picked it up. I had to leave. But I was right. "You will miss me." I read it again, and again. My chest felt tight. My hands shook. I told myself it didn't matter, but it did. That night, I held the keychain. I turned it in my fingers, feeling its weight. She was gone, but she was still here, in my thoughts, in my heart. I had spent years keeping people away. I thought I needed no one. But now I knew the truth. I had opened the window, and I didn't know how to close it again.